On Christmas Eve, Russia conducted a massive aerial attack using missiles and drones targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. According to Ukrainian data, 59 out of 78 missiles and 54 out of 106 Shahed drones were shot down. Explosions were reported in Kharkiv, Dnipro, and the regions of Kryvyi Rih, Kremenchuk, Vinnytsia, and Ivano-Frankivsk. The main strikes focused on the energy sector. It was confirmed that thermal power plants under the DTEK corporation were hit, but no specific plants were named. Simultaneously, Kyiv reported missile strikes on areas including Zelenodolsk, home to the Kryvyi Rih thermal power plant, Svitlovodsk with the Kremenchuk hydroelectric plant, and Burshtyn with its namesake power plant. Additionally, the Srednedneprovskaya hydroelectric plant in Kamianske was also attacked. The Svitlovodsk thermal power plant in Mykolaiv, Donetsk region, was hit and caught fire. The national power company Ukrenergo stated that the country would face a full day of power outages, followed by rotating blackouts lasting 8 to 21 hours in the subsequent days. At this time, energy infrastructure, heating, water, and gas systems were targeted. Bloomberg quoted representatives of Ukrenergo, the operator of Ukraine's power grid, reporting that the attack left 500,000 customers in the Kharkiv region without heating. In contrast, power outages occurred in parts of Kyiv and other areas. In addition to electricity and water outages, the internet was reportedly disconnected. Data revealed a significant reduction in internet connectivity across many regions of Ukraine as authorities imposed emergency power cuts. Reuters, citing the Russian Ministry of Defense, confirmed that the Christmas attack was a large-scale operation targeting energy infrastructure near Kyiv's military-industrial complex. Observers believe this action was in response to Ukraine's drone strikes on high-rise residential buildings in Kazan, Russia. As analyzed in our previous videos, Russia appears to be using the pretext of retaliating against Ukraine's earlier attacks to intensify the destruction of Ukraine's energy and military infrastructure. Each retaliation further cripples Ukraine's military and economic capabilities, deepening its struggles with no prospect of recovery. Journalist Yuri Nikolov reported, "Today's missile attack turned out to be worse than some of Putin's previous strikes. This time, he destroyed several power generation facilities on Ukraine's left bank, along with another in the west. Consequently, power outages will persist for us." Regarding President Zelensky, he called Russia's Christmas attack inhumane, while Trump's special envoy to Ukraine, General Keith Kellogg, also condemned the attack. Kellogg stated that Christmas should be a time of peace, but Ukraine is instead enduring bombardment. He emphasized that Christmas should be a time of peace, yet Ukraine was brutally attacked on Christmas Day. Launching large-scale missile and drone attacks on the day of the Lord's birth is wrong. The world is closely watching actions on both sides. The U.S. is more resolved than ever to bring peace to the region. Nearly 3 years after the war began, President-elect Donald Trump recently described the conflict in Ukraine as an unprecedented massacre since World War II and emphasized the urgent need for peace. At this moment, Ukraine faces compounded difficulties. Not only has it been overwhelmed by Russia on the battlefield, but its economy, energy infrastructure, and military have also suffered severe destruction. Moreover, its EU or NATO membership prospects remain dim while its Western allies grow increasingly fatigued by the war. Particularly, relations with its crucial neighboring ally, Poland, continue to deteriorate due to provocative actions by Ukraine. Ukraine antagonizes Poland by hoisting Bandera fascist flag on Polish APC. The Polish military website Warnerspol recently shared a video on X on December 21, showing Ukrainian forces hoisting the fascist Bandera flag of the Ukrainian insurgent army UPA on a Polish armored personnel carrier APC. This prompted Polish Defense Minister Władysław Kamysz to declare on X just 1 hour later that this was a provocation that should not have occurred. He also confirmed that he was organizing an urgent meeting with the Ukrainian attaché in Poland to clarify the issue. Why did this footage provoke such a strong reaction from the Poles? First, UPA is considered a terrorist group in Poland because it targeted the Polish state and civilians during the interwar period, later committing genocide against Poles in Volhynia and eastern Galicia during World War II. Second, to this day, Ukraine has refused to excavate and properly bury the remains of the victims of the Polish genocide, even though it has done so for German victims. Third, Poland has provided more combat vehicles to Ukraine than any other NATO country. The Polish President's Office website stated in November, Poland leads as a percentage of GDP among all nations in assisting Ukraine. Poland's support was the first to reach the Ukrainian front lines in significant quantities. We have donated the largest amount of heavy weaponry. Poland is also among the countries with the most crucial number of Ukrainian refugees. Fourthly, the Polish people deeply despise fascism. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian government considers Stepan Bandera, a notorious fascist, as a national hero. His birthday has even been declared a national holiday in Ukraine. Stepan Bandera, regarded as the father of Ukrainian Nazism, was a collaborator with Hitler and was responsible for massacres of Polish people. Under President Zelensky's administration, the influence and power of neo-Nazi ideologies in Ukraine have grown unprecedentedly, especially within its military forces. Former Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, General Valery Zaluzhny, once posted a selfie in front of Bandera's portrait. This act, coupled with Ukraine's continued glorification of Bandera, sparked outrage from former Polish Prime Minister Morawiecki, who strongly condemned Ukraine's parliament for persisting in praising Nazi collaborator Stepan Bandera. Zaluzhny's selfie ignited Polish anger. Stepan Bandera was the leader of the Organization of Ukrainian Nationalist Sound and a Nazi collaborator. His ideology envisioned a racially pure Ukraine, free of Jews, Russians, and Poles. During World War II, under Bandera's leadership, the OUN orchestrated the massacre of at least 100,000 Poles. Both the OUN and the Ukrainian Insurgent Army UPA, a paramilitary branch of OUN, cooperated with Nazi Germany to commit genocidal atrocities in Ukraine. Thus, displaying Bandera's UPA flag on a Polish-supplied military vehicle is equivalent to Ukraine slapping Poland in the face. Polish taxpayers funded their government's military aid to Ukraine, only for Kyiv to engage in such provocations. Simply put, Ukraine would not have been able to resist Russian forces to this day without Poland's unwavering support. The act of hoisting the genocide-associated flag represents ingratitude toward an ally. As Polish public opinion grows increasingly weary of the Ukraine conflict, as we mentioned in yesterday's video, any government taking power in Poland after the May presidential election is expected to adopt a stricter stance on Ukraine. Therefore, the trajectory of Polish-Ukrainian allied relations will likely face significant challenges in the coming year. The shoot-down of the F-18 over the Red Sea was Houthi involvement behind the U.S. Navy's friendly fire incident. Early on December 22, the U.S. Navy F-18 fighter jet was downed over the Red Sea in what military officials described as a friendly fire incident. Specifically, the aircraft was unintentionally struck by a missile fired from the USS Gettysburg cruiser. While media reports frame this as a tragic but understandable combat mistake, lingering questions remain about whether this friendly fire narrative conceals a more troubling reality. According to the U.S. Central Command CENTCOM, the F-18 had just launched from the aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman when a missile hit it accidentally fired from the cruiser USS Gettysburg, part of the same carrier strike group. The pilots ejected safely. CENTCOM explained that the incident occurred during a period of heightened attacks by Houthi forces involving drones and missiles targeting U.S. naval groups, suggesting that the F-18 might have been mistaken for an incoming Houthi UAV. At first glance, this explanation seems plausible. The Iran-backed Houthi forces have persistently attacked U.S. and allied forces in the region, pressuring sailors to make split-second decisions in a chaotic and dangerous environment. The U.S. military has conducted numerous airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen, and the presence of drones and cruise missiles in the area has undeniably created a complex operational backdrop. However, the circumstances surrounding the downing of the F-18 have raised skepticism. Timing of the incident: the U.S. Navy has been operating in the Red Sea for over a year, yet this is the first confirmed case of a U.S. fighter jet being downed by a friendly fire incident. With the frequency of Houthi attacks over the past year, it is puzzling that such a technical error had not occurred earlier. Furthermore, the fact that the F-18 was down mere minutes after taking off from the same carrier group as the USS Gettysburg raises questions about whether such a catastrophic misidentification could occur within units operating so closely together. Houthis' immediate claim of responsibility: hours after the incident, Houthi rebels claimed they had thwarted a US-UK attack on Yemen and downed an F-18 fighter jet. While CENTCOM quickly dismissed this claim, the Houthis' history of exaggerating or fabricating military successes complicates the narrative. However, their swift response and the specificity of their claims still leave room for doubt. Potential for disinformation: both the US and the Houthis may have motives to manipulate the narrative. For the U.S. military, this incident poses a significant challenge. If the friendly fire explanation is a fabricated cover story, it would not be the first time the U.S. military has downplayed operational failures to protect sensitive information or mitigate reputational damage. The downing of the F-18 over the Red Sea remains a controversial and multifaceted incident. Whether it was a friendly fire mistake or something more, its implications reverberate beyond the immediate operational theater. The incident highlights the complexities of modern warfare and the significant role of information and disinformation in shaping perceptions and strategies in an increasingly interconnected world.